As I began to think about traveling again, the thought of revisiting small portable routers resurfaced. So I started researching the different options that were available and ultimately decided on the Gl.iNet GL-MT1300. If you want to find out more about this device and whether or not travel routers are even worth it, then watch the rest of this video. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe and hit the notifications icon. I've had many travel routers in the past and have used them with pretty good success. However, on the last couple of times I used it in a hotel, I noticed that they weren't really working correctly anymore and the hotel login portals weren't coming up. And now that I was planning a trip for the new year, I decided to purchase a Gl.iNet GL-MT1300, as on paper it seemed to offer the best performance and feature combination. One of my prior complaints on earlier travel routers was performance. So I wanted something that would at least have some good performance and be able to run multiple devices. So before we get into the setup and testing, let's take a quick look at the hardware. So there's not much to this hardware, but if we take a look at the device, it has two fold-down antennas to make it easier to transport and put in smaller places. On the back side of the unit is a USB-C for power, a USB 3 for attaching a flash drive or external drive, two LAN ports, and a WAN port for the occasion when you'll actually use this to attach to a modem or to an Ethernet cord in a hotel. On the right side, there's a micro SD slot so you can actually add files to it and share them amongst other people that are connected to the device. And on the left side, there's a reset button and a mode switch, which is programmable for things like switching in and out the VPN. We'll see more of this when we get into the interface. The setup of this device is pretty straightforward. After you power up the device, you simply connect your laptop or your mobile device to its Wi-Fi, which shows up as a Gl.MT1300-854. It will have both the basic and also the 5G after it, indicating the 5 gigahertz. As an alternative, you can use the Ethernet and LAN port to set it up. I just found that setting it up with Wi-Fi was far more convenient, but ultimately it's your choice. There's a mobile app as well, but I didn't find that to be all that great. It's pretty basic, but it does work. Once you've connected to the Gl-MT1300 or the 5G version, then go to your browser and type the IP address, the default IP address for the web interface, which is 192.168.8.1. And you'll be prompted to choose your language, and then you'll be asked to change your admin password. Once in the main screen, you have three connection tabs. First, and most probably the most useful, is the repeater option, which is the one that we'll actually demo today. On the next tab, you can see where you can set up a 3G or 4G USB modem, and next to that, you have a tethering option. Going back to the repeater section, we need to click on Scan so we can detect any local or public Wi-Fi networks. Once the scan is done, you can click on select the SSID of choice and then type in the password if one's required. Some of the public Wi-Fis want you to attach to an unsecured network first and then use the browser, which will redirect you to a login page so you can accept their terms of service and possibly a fee. This is typically how hotels are set up. Once you've joined, you'll be able to see on the main screen the network that you're connected to and any details about that network. As far as actually connecting and start to share this Wi-Fi connection, this is pretty much all that's required once you've set up that initial connection. However, let's explore some of the other options that are available. From here, we can click on the wireless tab and it shows all the details of the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. There's a Wi-Fi guest tab so that you can share this device with others without providing access to file sharing or sharing the password of your main device. Clicking on clients, you can see a list of all the clients that are currently attached. As I just reset this unit, there's only one client that's actually showing up, but during my trip I had as many as 26 devices connected to it, and many times over 8 to 10 concurrently using it to access the internet. On the next tab, you have the firmware upgrade options, including automatic option, which I find really useful. On the next tab, you can create some basic port forwarding rules. And going down to the VPN client tab, this is where you can actually import a VPN profile. Going down to the more settings, you can change the admin password, LAN IP, and the side button functionality, which allows you to configure it a couple of different ways, such as turning it on and off, OpenVPN or WireGuard, which I thought was also pretty handy. That's a quick overview of the functionality of the interface. Now let's test it out and see how it works. To baseline the performance, I did a quick internet test as well as an iPerf test directly to my current Wi-Fi and compared it through hopping through the Gl.iNet MT1300 in wireless repeater mode. I didn't really expect to see the same level of performance, but rather to see how much could be pushed through this device, configured as a wireless repeater, as that's the way that most people will be using it if they're using it as a travel router. Though it obviously isn't as fast as a direct connection, it does really well. Even during the times when I had 8 to 10 devices running concurrently, it seemed to keep up and do really well, even when a couple of the devices were streaming either YouTube or Plex. In summary, I didn't have any issues with this device, and it set up at the hotel in just a few minutes. It performed flawlessly during my 3-day trip, only having to log back into the hotel portal every 24 hours to refresh the connection. This device is really a must-have for anyone traveling. It gives you multi-device connectivity against one connection while running everything through a NAT firewall for that added security. Anyway, that's about it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.